What you're about to see is an extended version of me building this house in SketchUp, me drawing it in SketchUp. It is long, it is kind of boring. It is the kind of thing that you should watch if you really want to see exactly how I did it in SketchUp. And I think that's a really valuable tool for those of you that are looking to design your own house in 3D modeling software like SketchUp. So continue watching if that's what you're looking to do. If you just want to see an overview of the house, of me doing it in SketchUp and just kind of a tour of how I did it, and then move right on to the framing videos and seeing how I actually built it in real life, then you should click here or there or somewhere right now to watch the SketchUp overview video, which is, it's about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and it just goes through the finished product. So enjoy, guys, and I hope this is helpful. All right, so now we're looking at this trailer. This one is a little bit different, kind of unique and compared to a lot of stuff I've seen. Its framing members, as you can see, well, this is the flashing, but the framing members, I guess the flashing is, that's interesting. The frame members are actually underneath the frame, and then they have flashing sitting on top. Well, the idea here is that you're going to make a plywood subfloor, and a 2x4 subfloor, and then drop it into this recess. And then you got these flanges up here. See these flanges that just stick out with nothing underneath, where I guess you would attach your subfloor sheathing. You know, so this was a different look at it. I don't like this personally. And the other thing is too, you have some intense thermal bridging going on here because unless you build up your subfloor even super tall, beyond whatever it sticks up out of this cavity, and then insulate on top of that. I mean, if your sheathing sits flush with the top of this flange, then you're going to have thermal bridging for a pretty consistent thickness here, whatever this is, coming up right on the outsides of your tiny house there. In any case, this was it was an awesome resource. I'm really thankful that this exists. Thank you, Iron Eagle Trailers, for making this drawing, because I need to use some components from this that are difficult for me to draw. So I'm new to SketchUp, and Justine and I spent some time learning stuff, but we're too novice to know how to draw wheels and axles and curved fenders and things like that. So it was really nice that these things already existed. So what I decided to do was utilize the components that I didn't really know how to draw, and just redraw the frame onto this. So that's done, and I want to show you that. You're also going to see my tiny house when I do this. Boom, there it is. Actually get rid of this guy. Yeah, this is actually the first iteration of the drawing that unfortunately I made some minor errors that has totally screwed everything up, and I have to redraw it. So what I figured, this would be a great opportunity to start from scratch. You notice that I did not accommodate for a trailer on this drawing because I didn't know what trailer we were going to buy. I said, let me just start from scratch and record the entire process now that I have some experience doing this, and you can see exactly how I'm doing it. I'm also going to make these drawings available for free online on offgridbuild.com, so you'll be able to see how I did it and then drawings yourself. So as you can see, the trailer, what I've done is I've saved the fenders and the wheels and this front portion and the jack stand, and I have redrawn the frame. I haven't fully redrawn it. There are some frame members off to the sides that I haven't redrawn, but as you can see, this resembles this trailer pretty closely, if not perfectly. So on a 28-foot trailer, the center of a 3-axle trailer is going to be 16 foot 2 inches back from the front edge of the trailer framing. The entire length of the fender was going to be, as you see this object right here, this component rather. If I pull off this, let me rotate a little bit. If I pull off this corner, which it won't even let me. Oh, because it's not the actual edge. I see. Okay, so if I pull off this corner, and another little trick, guys, you can do is, neat little thing here is like I start with the tape measure by hitting T, and I can immediately, I can hit H to switch back to pan, and then when I hit T again, it remembers where I started from, so I can switch back between the two of those. Then I can zoom in. Whoops, I can zoom in. Remember to keep your cursor over the material that you want to zoom in on, because if I do it, zoom in down here, it'll go to that wheel. If I zoom in right here, it goes to the fender. So I want to measure to this point, so I'll hit T again, and boom, it's approximately 9 feet. That just means that the shape, the size of this fender actually isn't, it's like very close. It's like probably more than a 64th, closer with precision, less than a 64th, off 9 feet. So it just so happens that the Iron Eagle trailer fender length, 3 axles, is also 9 feet. So I kept that basically to the best of my abilities. This is my best positioning to understand based on that documentation. But I got an email from the trailer manufacturer, because I asked him, I was like, okay, now that I'm dealing with the manufacturer, you tell me what spec you're actually to build this trailer to, and he gave that to me. So those dimensions for my specific trailer being manufactured in this Alabama factory, the fenders are actually only 102 inches long, which is 8.5 feet, which is great because it's going to intrude less into the cavity of the space. And they're 150. So I got here 150. The front of the fender is 155 inches back from the front of the frame, and the back of the fender is 79 inches forward from the rear of the frame. Okay, so what that means is I can take half of the fender length, so fender length 102 divided by 2 equals 51, and I can add that onto the 155 inches from the front of the frame to the front of the fenders. So that gets me 206. So the center of the fenders is 206 inches from the front of the frame, and the fenders are 102 inches long. So the very first thing I need to do is make this fender 102 inches long. Right now it is approximately 9 feet, which is 108 inches. So I have to figure out how to smush this down a little bit. So offset scale, here we go. So they're saying to use the center grip. Oh, boom, look at that. And okay. Oh, but see, it's telling me, okay, so it's telling me that the scale is based on, like, you know, percentage. So just check this out. It looks like you guys can't see a lot of the inference and stuff that I'm seeing, little pop-ups that show me dimensions and little measurements box in the lower right-hand side of the Sketchup window. I don't know how to make that work, so sorry about it. You know, there's plenty of Sketchup tutorials out there that are going to show you how to do that kind of stuff. No problem at all on that. So you're just going to have to look there. So I can scale, I can choose the scale tool and pull off the middle grip just to move the fenders this way, right? But that gives me, basically, that's a percentage. I need to specify an actual length, which, oh, I can do that. It works perfectly. Great, so let's do this. Let's see, right now we got this fender, so basically we got this entire group, which is the entire trailer. But if I double click on the fender, that's its own group. And then if I add the wheels in, they're their own groups, and I want to add this other fender as well. So let me see if I can scale all of those together. Now obviously the wheels, they're going to be a little bit funny looking, because I'm going to scale it back a little bit, but you know what? I don't really care what they look like. I just need the dimensions to be right. So look at that. I can move this whole thing in and then just type 102 double quote, and now this whole thing, let me actually undo that. That looked a little weird. Scale it all in really far. Let's say I'll type 102 inches just to make sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, I typed 12. Let me type 102. Okay, so now this thing has been scaled in to 102 inches. And yeah, the wheels look a little bit narrow and stuff, but it doesn't matter. as long as the dimensions are correct. As far as the height goes, generally these things are about 10 inches off the deck, something like that. I'm less concerned about that height. Actually, no, I can't be less concerned about that height. I have to figure out what the height of the fenders are. So let me go back and take a look at all of my documentation and see if I can figure that out. Okay, so these fenders are approximately 14 inches tall. As you can see, 1'2". Perfect. I'm going to get this fender to be exactly 206 inches, the center of the fender to be exactly 206 inches from the front of the frame, which is as per the specs from the manufacturer where it actually is going to be located. So in order to do so, I am going to, first I want to group, if I edit the group of the entire trailer, I actually now have a component. I made a component out of all the axles and the wheels and the fenders just so I can keep it all together. And now I'm going to use the move tool, and I'm going to select the point, which is, notice with the inference engine, again, it snaps to that circle, the component circle, midpoint in component. So now I'm going to click on it with the move tool. And now I'm going to use the left arrow to snap to the green axis. I'm going to hit H to pan over to the front of the trailer and go back to the move tool, hitting M. And I'm going to use the inference engine to constrain on line from point. So the point is up here, it's the midpoint, and I'm going to constrain on this line, which represents the front edge of the trailer frame. So I'm going to do that. Boom. I'm going to move it right there. Now, there might be a better way to do this, but I honestly don't know. So now I'm just going to move the midpoint where it snaps to the midpoint of this fender again. And I'm, once again, to keep it from moving in other directions, I'm going to hit the left arrow to constrain it to the green axis. And now I'm just going to type in 206 to move it 206 inches back. So that is the best way I could figure out how to do this, but I know it works, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I know my fender is in the right place. So now that I've done that, some of my other framing members are a little bit messed up, so I'm going to have to go back and fix those. Whoops. And yeah, so you can see here we got a little bit of a problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this real quick. You know, there's a lot of details. This is a little bit complex of a place to start. I'm just kind of figuring it out, so I'm just going to get this thing fixed real quick, and then we can get on to the framing, and then how I did this will make a lot more sense. Okay, so this has been modified. The original dimensions said that the space from the back of the frame to the front side of that fender should be 79 inches. Zoom in. We got 6'6", and so 6 foot is 72 inches, and this is 6'6". So it's 78 and 15/16. So very close to 79. Gonna roll with that. That'll be fine. And then it's only a 16th off. And I think the front here was supposed to be 155 on that dimension. So let's see here. We got this. Oops, zoomed in on the wrong spot. 12'11", approximately 12'11". So 12, that'd be 144 plus 11, that's 155 inches. So within like a 64th. So, you know, I'm fine with that. I don't really fully understand how to deal with these types of shapes like this fender. So in the world of construction, a 16th and a 64th isn't going to make any difference in the framing. So I'm going to roll with that. So now that we have our trailer dimensions 100% perfect, and the fenders where they need to be, we can start framing up the subfloor. Okay, so let's take a look at the overall dimensions of this trailer one more time. So we'll tape measure from this corner. So now we can go into this corner. We got 28 feet. And from this corner to this corner, we got 8'2", so we got 98 inches. That is perfect. Because on the outsides of this, we have to do we're doing our outside sheathing and our boards and battens, and that's going to get us to 102 inches that way. So let's start. We're just going to make some assumptions here. We're going to assume that the closed cell rigid foam insulation is in here. The flashing is underneath, and I'm just going to start drawing plywood. Before I get started with this, I want you guys to know I'm a novice. I'm sure there's a million better ways to do things. I would love you guys to chime in and tell me, make me better for the future. But the gist is, the drawing will be complete, and we will get what we need out of this in the end. So what do I got? I got 102 inches. So a sheet of plywood, widthwise is 48. So I'm going to have 2 sheets and a little bit. So I'm going to have 3 sheets in total. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start in the center. So I don't have like a little skinny piece over here. I'll start in the center, and then I'll having one full 48 piece, and then I'll do like 2 smaller pieces on the ends. So that being said, let's do it that way. Here, let's actually get the width between the length between the 2 fenders first. So we want this piece to be 48 inches by 82. So I'm going to start by typing 82 inches, comma 48 inches. Okay. And now I'm going to use the push tool to select this face. I select tool, spacebar to select the face. I'm going to use push, and I'm going to push that up by 0.75. And now I got my sheet of plywood. Next thing I need to do is make this a group. You know, there's a lot of people talking about if you should make it a group or a component. Component's really good if you want to like duplicate that component and use it elsewhere, and then when you modify one, it like if you like push or pull or just modify one in any way, it'll modify the others. In this case, this sheet of plywood is unique. I'm not using this sheet of plywood again, so. You know, this is where I get a little bit confused. I'm going to make it a component instead of a group, but see, the group just groups it all together. Okay, so I've done some thinking about how to deal with this issue of each piece of plywood, you know, lining up all the edges hitting halfway on a framing member. And you know, I don't want to split them in half this way because there's no framing members in the center to land the edges on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to notch this thing a little bit. So basically right here, I'm going to draw, I'm going to select, I'm going to edit this face, or edit the object, so get the entities. I'm going to draw a little line from this intersection up on the, what axis is this? It's the blue axis, hit the up arrow. I'll draw a little line there. And what that's going to allow me to do is now I can select this face individually, and I can bring this thing back 1 1/16. So let's do that. 1 space 1/16. Okay. So now I've notched that. Now I can get a piece of plywood that spans across these guys to sit. Everything is going to be sitting halfway. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Okay. What's going on here? Right. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line from the intersection, up arrow, lock in on the blue axis, and line there. Remember, before I'm doing this, I'm editing this component. I'm getting access to the faces because I have to draw new lines on the actual face entity. Okay, so I'm going to push this in 1 space 1/16. Perfect. Okay, I don't know if this is a little bit unorthodox or what. Oh, you see what I did here? Messed that up. This is a component. All right, let me fix that. I have to make this piece unique. So this is where components get a little bit tricky in my mind, you know. It's like, well, there's so many custom little things I do. Like, I'm gonna end up having to make all these components unique, and then I'm gonna have like a bazillion components, especially when I start framing in the components section. And yeah, I don't know, maybe groups make more sense. Whoops, I have to undo further. Okay, so now I'm back to where nothing is done. I'm gonna make this piece unique, and I'm gonna edit this face. I'm gonna draw a line, intersection, up arrow for blocking the blue axis, snap to this top edge there, push 1 space 1/16. Okay. Okay, same dealie here. Push. Okay. And there you have that. So now I have to make yet another object. So what I can do is I can try to save a little bit of time here. I can take this guy, move, copy, get it on the green axis, left arrow. Snap it to the edge there, but see, now I'm gonna have to make this one unique, because now I have to, oh, let's get a better vantage point. Whoops. Okay, so now I have to push this one in 1/16. 1 space 1/16. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then I also have to move it 1/8 out. Move, snap to the green axis, 1/8. Okay, so now I got my gap. Yep, I gotta just push this other side in 1/16. No, 1 space 1/16. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, I really hope this isn't me being extremely OCD and anal retentive. You know what? I don't really care if it is. The bottom line is that, you know, being extremely attentive to detail is what gets these things done with a higher level of precision. When you're building, nothing is wrong about more precision. 48 inches, nothing ever. More precise is better, unless you're pressed for time. Pressed for time, or you're doing it for money, then we might have a different opinion on the matter. But 48 inches again. Oh, darn it! Yeah, I have to keep modifying this. But you know, when this is a passion project for me, so I can feel free to just go as crazy as I want with precision and feel good about that. Oh, see, now we got to make another. This is the thing with components, man. Making components. Okay, make unique. Select that face, push it in 16 inches. Okay. Let's triple confirm. See, something I gotta get really used to doing is triple confirming stuff as I go, because you make one little mistake and it just snowballs. 1/116. Okay, good. Now we got this unique mamma jamma, and we're gonna move, copy, snap to green axis. That will be 32 inches. Okay, now we're gonna swing back around. We're gonna push in. See, I did the same thing again. Constant with these components. I gotta get used to this. Make unique. Push. We're to snap to the outside edge of the framing. There we are. Okay. Looking good so far. Okay. Now let's see if we got to notch this in over here. You see, this is so close. Let's hide this. How much space do we have here? Wow, we already did this. Okay, great. Okay, great. Great, great, great. I'm not going to worry about notching this in over here. I'm just going to push these sides in. Let's see how that works out. Whoops. One space, 1/16. Push. 1 space, 1/16. Oh, God, it happened again. Another component. Oh, yeah. Okay. Make unique, please. Thank you. Let's try this again. 1 space, 1/16. No. Come on. The heck? Wow, I don't know. Oh, 'cause it's... Nah, anyway. Alright. Alright, let's delete this thing. We got a unique component here. Let's copy it. Snap it to the green. 48 inches. And now we have to modify this one, so this one has to be made unique. And we're going to push this guy in until it snaps. Boom, snaps to that edge. Alright, going places. Let's do some of this subfloor over here. Yeah, see, now this is where it would be really handy. It's because I'm editing this component why this is happening. I can't orbit properly. There we go. So now it's very obvious it'd be really handy for me to have my cross members inside of here. So I should probably just do that. Let me hide these. Okay. We could just copy. Is this a component? No, this is a group. Well, whatever. I'm going to let it be. I made these as groups. I'm not going to worry about this. Okay, so we're gonna snap to where? We want to snap to the red axis here, and we're going to then snap to the outside of that framing member. And now we're going to do a big push. Push. What is that happening? Push. Now see, I pushed off that corner. Sometimes push gives me the option to push off the corner, and sometimes it doesn't. And I honestly couldn't tell you why it picks and chooses when it wants to do that. But anyway, now that gives me the ability to just, boom, snap right onto the outside edge of that framing member, outside framing member. Cool. So now I got this piece. It's its own little guy. So now I can just move this guy, copy, snap to the green axis, and it's going to be 16 inches because I'm going 16 inches on center. I'll zoom in a little bit, like so, and now I'll just do the same thing. Copy that guy. I can hold down Shift, and I can type in. Oh, that didn't work. Undo that. 16. Gotta keep going. The 16. And then for this guy, check this out. So we're just gonna move this guy, copy it, just snap right to the end over there. So now we're good on that. I can make this a component. Why not? And we'll move it over. And we can see the inference engine drawing a line for us, making our lives easy. So we know that we are lined up. Yep, you know I didn't copy that one. Let's do that again. Move, hit Control to copy that. And you know, honestly, let's drag off that point. Okay, so see, I'm not gonna do anything, and see how the inference engine, it says, okay, red axis. Boom, I'm on the red axis, and then I'm snapping to the on edging group. But see, I don't like doing this. It's a little bit tricky for me, so I like to say, oh, that's weird. Oh yeah, so red axis. I need to be, yeah, okay, so here we go. What did I just press? I hit right arrow to bring it to the red axis, and now I can't, that's all I can move it on, and now I can snap right to that line, and then there we go. So now I can just copy this again. So watch this now. Copy. I'm on the green axis. That is a left arrow. Move it over. Let's do this too. Oh, this might mess everything up. Okay, hit M again to get our... Oh, we lost our move somehow. Anyway, I have to... We'll come back to that. I need to hide all these guys so I can see what's going on under here. Since this is a component, I can now select this as a whole. M, Control, move it over on the whatever axis. This is the green axis, so left arrow. Pan over. Hit M again to get it back, and now I got this component in like a limbo land. So what I need to do is figure out how to align it with this, and I can do that just by using the inference engine. I can zoom in, pull it over, and then boom, it snaps to that line. Perfect. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make this unique because it's not going to be the same as those other ones from the other side. And now I'm going to go in here and edit this guy, and I'm going to move, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to left arrow to stay on that that green axis, and I'm going to type in 16. Keep going down the line just like we did before. Oh wait, that's not working. How is that not working? Did I mess something up? These not 16 on center? What happened here? Oh right, this last one, of course. This last one wasn't 16 on center because it was just wherever this thing ended. So that's the problem with that. Let's just get rid of that. Now I can just continue with what I was doing. Keep in mind, you know, you don't have to hit the left arrow to snap to an axis, but I am going to be doing that forever from now because I've had some bad experiences with some minor issues that just snowballed into oblivion, making me have to recreate this model. So that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so we got, yeah, it's just the inference engine is just inferring that I want to go 1'4", so we'll just roll with that. Copy again. Are you going to do it again? Yep, you are. And you know what I can do now? I can say, I want to select spacebar to select. Let me select 3 of these guys. And move all those. Is it going to infer that I want to go 48 inches? No, so I'm just going to type 48. I could have also used the inference engine to pull over to that point, and it would have matched. Okay, so there it is, guys. Since I was editing that component, when I exit out, it's now the whole thing is still a component, and it's unique. So what I can do now is I can say move this whole guy over, and I'm going to constrain to the red axis, which is that up? No, it's the right arrow, and I'm going to snap. I chose this corner. I chose this corner right there. So now I can just snap it right to the edge of that. And there we go. Now I got all my framing members. So now let me unselect that. I'm gonna unhide all. But what happened? I just hid those. Oh, weird. Maybe I had to like edit that group or something first before I unhid them. That's an interesting little thing. Okay, so there we go. Now I can start doing my plywood on the outside little perimeter things. So let's do these as let's take a 96-inch long piece of plywood for this rectangle. So what is this? 9 1/16. We can just push it afterwards. I don't mind doing that. Oh, 8 feet. This is kind of ridiculous to try to select it this way. So what I'm going to do is I am going to say, okay, this space is 9 1/16, but I need to subtract 1/8 of an inch off that to give the gap. So I'm going to say 8 15/16, comma 96. 8 15 /16, comma 96. There we go. Push this up 0.75, and there we go. We still need to move it over though, because I started from this corner. I'm going to make this a component first, and now I'm going to move it right to there. Okay, that's a sheet of plywood right there. So now we can just pull this over to here. Let's snap to the red axis. And you know what I should have done? I should have pulled from this corner. I pulled from this corner over here, but I should have pulled from this corner because I could have snapped it right to the edge. Go. Alright. We're going to be able to use that component again and again. So let's, how should we go about this? Let's see what happens if I do this. I'm going to move it. Let's do it from this side. Yeah, let's do it from this side. No, let's do it from this side. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so snapping right to there. Now I'm going to move this 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so something I want to make sure of first. Are we meeting directly on a framing member here? Side. Okay, we are. So do we have 1 1/16? We have 2 inches. So how did that happen? Oh. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. See, this is the kind of stuff we need to look out for. Is that this space here, is this also 16 on the center? I don't think it was. Oh, a second. This was 16 on center. So how come 8 feet? Make some mistake. 8'2". This is 8 feet. Oh yeah, of course. That's the problem. It's really frustrating. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because we're spanning, we're not meeting halfway. We're going all the way to the edge here. Yeah, so we need to do is unhide all. Alright, so this is how we're going to do this. We're just going to unhide all. Let's get rid of this thing. We're just going to start this 8-foot sheet over here. Oh, look, I'm missing a little frame member on the end there. Sorry. That'll be there in real life. Okay, so this is an interesting little thing. I don't have to fix this, but we can see that I misjudged where that notch should be. So this is what's great about drawing in SketchUp. You see things like this, so in the real world, you can prepare for them properly. In the real world, what I probably should do is start with these outside pieces and then fit the center pieces in after. Okay, so what I need to just do is make this thing land. Make it less than 8 feet and make it land directly on a centered on a framing member. So I can go right to the midpoint on that framing member, and then I can push another 1/16 of an inch. 1/16. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Not going to be able to use proper 8-foot lengths on these. Okay, so that is a component, yes? It is. Alright, so we'll just copy that. Okay. Do it like that. Move this thing out. 1/8, perfect. And now we'll just move this one out. Not move, we're going to push it. Wait a minute. What just happened? Messed something up. Oh, right. It's a component. Same problem over and over and over again. Make unique. Okay, push. Okay, so now that I have these two components. Oh, are they? There's a gap there, yeah. So now I'm going to be smart about this, and I'm going to pull off this edge. And snap it right. It's on the right axis, and I'm going to snap it right to this end point on that corner. Beautiful. Okay. Just cruise on over here. Let's make sure we got our gap. And we do. Let's hide this for a moment. Just make triple confirm that we got 1 1/16. Good deal. Let's unhide the last one, and then we'll zoom out and move over. Make sure we're all looking good here. And it looks like we got a problem. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen. See that right there? That's the kind of thing that will mess you up big time later. You got to be right on your points. I'm glad I just saw that. Wow, that's a big one, guys, right there. You need to be 100% on that. How did that happen? So I'm right on there. But the problem is probably when I created this thing over here. Something happened. Oh, you know what the problem is? I know what the problem is. I didn't make these framing members perfect. This one is slightly, like the one on the other side, this framing member is slightly longer on the other side by a fraction amount. This is because I was trying to match up to that Fender, and I didn't really have like a solid point to really reference off of. So that's what happened. All right. So the good news is that this doesn't really matter for this. This is not going to cause any issues. I'm going to, well, you know what? I'll just pull the Fender up. Let me just do that. Let me just solve this. Fender. Okay, Fender. Pull. Zoom way in so we can see what we're doing. Pull it. Whoa. There we go. Okay, so that solved that problem. Now these frame members are perfect on both sides. Yeah, that's a weird point to deal with there. Okay. Sweet. That's that. Okay, cool. So let's just take one of these long guys and we will move it on the green axis. Pan over. Continue our move. We will snap it. We're probably going to end up with the same problem over here, to be perfectly honest with you. Betcha. What's going on here? Oh yeah, we totally have the same problem. Let's just move this here for a second. Let's check the other side to see if we have a misalignment. Or I probably did it so it matched on this side, but it's not going to match on this side now because of that. So let's actually just make these guys the same. Pull. Right to there. Perfect. Okay, let's now get to you, and we're going to move you. Right to there. Yeah. Okay, I see how we did that. That's fine. And let's get this guy right in. Push him right in. Okay, can make this unique. Oh shoot. I did mess up. See, it's the same thing over and over. I didn't make it unique. So silly. Forgot to do that. Make unique. Okay, guys. I'd really like somebody to tell me if I'm crazy here. Like, using components for this just seems ludicrous. Groups seem to be, in my mind, to see a much saner choice. I used that for the framing of the other tiny house over there. And it worked out okay, I think. Feel like it did. Alright, so red axis, that's the right arrow. I'm going to snap right to the edge there. Okay, cool. Let's make sure, let's just double check a couple measurements. Let's make sure this is 1/8 of an inch here. It is, okay. And looking good. Now we're going to zoom in over here, make sure that we're looking good over here. And we are. Okay. So, look at that, guys. We just sheathed our subfloor. And all the plywood is meeting on framing members, and it's super strong. So I'm feeling good about that. What do you guys think? Let me know what you do differently. And that was a doozy of a video, man. I don't even know how long this is going to end up being, but in the next video I am going to move on to starting to do the framing, and we're going to end up with something that looks exactly like this, minus the accommodation for the wheel wells, and it's not going to have the problems that this place has. And I will tackle those problems and let you know exactly what happened with that as we get there. But for now, let's just leave that framing for the next video. Thanks for sticking with me on that, guys. And again, let me know what your thoughts are on the way I did that. I would love to hear your